With these numbers, you can always make a GDP growth. But the nominal growth has come down from 12% in 23-24 to 9.8% in 24-25 and 8% in 25-26. I'm glad the Honorable Finance Minister is there. I'm pointing out, Madam, that your paragraph 14 of your budget speech is totally wrong and unacceptable.
Yes.
I'm amazed. Under one minister's charge, under one minister's watch, agriculture and rural development, there is a cut in expenditure of 60,000 crores.
Shame.
Agriculture has been cut by 6,985 crore. Rural development has been cut by 53,067 crore.
Shame.
Rural areas don't require any development. What is the minister doing? What are our officers doing? What are they doing throughout the year? On grants and aid to states, the cut is 30,391 crore. You blame the states, but why don't you give them money? And there's not a word of explanation why this cut. Somebody in the cabinet, the Honorable Prime Minister must ask the minister and the ministry, why is there under your watch a 60,000 crore cut? I'm looking for Honorable Mr. C.R. Patil also. The Jal Jeevan Mission was allotted 67,000 crore. You know what they spent? They spent only 17,000 crore. What is this going on?
And where is Jeevan?
Why is there a budget? Corporate houses were persuaded to offer internship. 1,65,000 offers came. Only 33,000 were accepted. Are there no young men and women to accept an internship in big companies? Only 33,000 accepted. And after 33,000 who accepted, 6,000 left the job. So what is wrong with the internship scheme? She touted it last year. She must explain why the scheme has totally failed this year.
General discussion on Union Budget 2026-27. I call upon Shriman p.chidambaram to raise the discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'm honored that my party has asked me to start the debate on the budget. I want to first frame the scope of the debate. Under the rules and the tradition of this House, in a budget discussion, every subject, every ministry, every department for whom money is allocated and an appropriation is sought can be discussed. I think the House will agree with my framing of the scope of the debate. The first point I wish to make is the economic survey is prepared by the Economics Division of the Finance Ministry. A lot of people put on a lot of work and do a lot of research and analysis to prepare the survey. It runs to over 700 pages. The narration is about 450 pages, and the statistical appendix is about over 200 pages. I wonder whether the government and its key ministers read the economic survey. The most charitable view is that they don't care for the chief economic advisor. The uncharitable view is that while the chief economic advisor is bringing the government down to earth, what is happening around the country, I think the government and the ministers want to soar high and reach another planet as if we are not living on earth. There are a number of challenges listed in the economic survey. I'll take up only 4 challenges. capital investment. For some years now, for almost 12 years, capital investment, gross fixed capital formation is stuck at 30% of GDP. Net FDI in 2024-25 has collapsed to less than 0.09%. FPIs, foreign portfolio investors, are pulling out. Private investment, although companies are cash rich, is stuck at 22% of GDP. In this situation, where neither the public sector, nor the private sector, nor the foreign investor is investing in India, this government has cut capital expenditure. In the year that ended 25-26, they have cut capital expenditure by a whopping 1,44,376 crore. The centre has cut its capital expenditure by 25,335 crore, and what is worse is the state's capital expenditure, for which the centre gives advances, is cut by 1,19,041 crore. Should there not be an explanation? Why did you not give the money? Or did you impose conditions which the states can't fulfill? There must be a reason for that. No reason in the Honorable Finance Minister's speech. The second challenge is unemployment. All of us agree, all of us should agree, in our constituencies, the most number of requests is for job. Youth unemployment is 15%. Less than 25% of the workforce is in regular employment. There is a shift to self-employment, and more workers are in the agriculture sector than there were 4 or 5 years ago. Only in a country with 144 crore people, only 195 lakh, that is less than 2 crore, are employed in a factory. Manufacturing, which is largely factories, is stuck at 16% for many, many years. I'll give you an example. The PM internship scheme was touted. Last year, the finance minister made that statement. Corporate houses were persuaded to offer internship. 1,65,000 offers came. Only 33,000 were accepted. Are there no young men and women to accept an internship in big companies? Only 33,000 accepted. And of the 33,000 who accepted, 6,000 left the job. So what is wrong with the internship scheme? She touted it last year. She must explain why the scheme has totally failed this year. The third challenge is the slow growth rate. In paragraph 14 of the Honorable Finance Minister's budget speech, she said, and I'll quote that, the Reform Express is well in its way and will maintain its momentum to help us fulfill our kartavya. The Reform Express is well in its way. Along with Vande Bharat and Tejas, they may even introduce a train called Reform Express. But the Reform Express is stuck. It's not derailed yet, but it is stuck.
Yes. Yes.
Look at the nominal growth rate. The nominal growth rate in 2023-24 was 12%. In 24-25, it came down to 9.8%. In 25-26, the year which will end in a month, it's come down to 8%. Where is the Reform Express gathering
Where is
momentum?
your bullet train?
No bullet train is coming.
You refer to the real GDP growth, real GDP growth. But Dr. Surjit Balla, one of your strongest supporters,
Yes.
has mocked the real GDP growth. That's because your CPI inflation is 0.5%, your wholesale inflation is negative, your deflator is only 0.5. With these numbers, you can always make a GDP growth. But the nominal growth has come down from 12% in 23-24 to 9.8% in 24-25 and 8% in 25-26. I'm glad the Honorable Finance Minister is there. I'm pointing out, Madam, that your paragraph 14 of your budget speech is totally wrong and unacceptable.
Yes.
The last challenge, there are others who will touch upon the other challenges.
No, you've got
The
10 minutes
slow
left.
fiscal consolidation.
You can speak more.
Now, fiscal deficit is a well-known measure, internationally accepted measure. I find that the government is moving away from fiscal deficit to debt to GDP ratio. Dr. Rangarajan, one of the most knowledgeable economists in this country, has pointed out that the two are interdependent. If fiscal deficit comes down, the debt to GDP ratio will also come down. The debt to GDP ratio comes down, the fiscal deficit will also come down. It's two sides of the same coin. I won't elaborate on that. The fiscal deficit in 25-26 is 4.4%. She has achieved her target. But next year, it will come down only to 4.3%. And the revenue deficit in the current year will be 1.5%. And next year also, it will remain at 1.5%. Now, what is the FRBM target? FRBM target is 3% of fiscal deficit. And the revenue deficit, the ideal is to eliminate the revenue deficit, but it can be up to 1%. At this rate of consolidation, which Dr. Rangarajan in a very analytical article has called out as a mockery. At this rate of fiscal consolidation, it will take 12 years to achieve the FRBM target. The FRBM target was last achieved only in 1 year, 2007-8, on the fiscal deficit. But since then, the fiscal deficit is ballooned, and then they're trying to bring it down. But at this rate of fiscal consolidation, it's like taking baby steps. A baby steps will not allow you to run 100 meters or 1,000 meters race. And then what saved the Honorable Finance Minister, not because of higher revenues, but because of higher financial discipline, what saved her was she cut total expenditure by 1 lakh crore, and the RBI gave a dividend of 3 lakh crore. That is how it saved the fiscal deficit. But for these cruel cuts in capital expenditure, but for the bonanza received from the RBI, the fiscal deficit will not be 4.4%, it will be 5.5%. Other challenges listed in the economic survey will be taken up by my learned friends. Now I'm looking for the Honorable Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. I'm the Honorable Mr. C.R. Patil. I'm amazed. Under one minister's charge, under one minister's watch, agriculture and rural development, there is a cut in expenditure of 60,000 crores.
Shame, 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 shame.
Agriculture has been cut by 6,985 crore. Rural development has been cut by 53,067 crore.
Shame, shame, shame.
Rural areas don't require any development. What is the minister doing? What are our officers doing? What are they doing throughout the year? That in 1 year you spend 60,052 crore less. On a Gram Sadak Yojana, and villages are crying for Gram roads, 7,201 crore is the cut. On Awas Yojana, the much doubted housing scheme, the cut is 22,331 crore. Don't our people require roads? Don't our people require houses? On grants and aid to states, the cut is 30,391 crore. You blame the states, but why don't you give them money? And there's not a word of explanation why this cut. Somebody in the cabinet, the Honorable Prime Minister must ask the minister and the ministry, why is there under your watch a 60,000 crore cut?
Correct.
I'm looking for Honorable Mr. C.R. Patil also. The Jal Jeevan Mission was allotted 67,000 crore. You know what they spent? 67,000 crore. They spent only 17,000 crore. What is this going on?
And where is Jeevan?
Why is there a budget? People are dying because of polluted water,
In Indore.
contaminated water in Indore. Today we saw a story in the newspaper about a Dalit village in one of the states where 4 sisters committed suicide, and the reporter went to that village. It has no tap water, it has no public toilets, there are no personal housing toilets,
Shame.
and then you don't spend on roads, you don't spend on housing, and the Jal Jeevan Mission is cut by 50,000 crore. Defense expenditure is at a low of 11.4% of total expenditure.
This is the nationalism.
Defense expenditure is 1.6% of GDP. 1.6% of GDP, and defense expenditure is 11.4% of TE, and this is an all-time low. Scientific departments, my good friend, a very suave friend, scientific departments did not spend 18,665 crore. Urban development did not spend 39,573 crore. Social welfare was cut by a round number, 9,999 crore. What are the ministers doing? Why are they not fulfilling programs and spending the money? Sir, I must compliment the Honorable Finance Minister. She has found a way. She has found a formula to mesmerize at least one half of the House. She throws schemes, funds, missions, committees. I counted 24. One half of the House applauded. But here is the situation. In Biopharma Shakti, she has allotted 10,000 crore in the next 5 years This is already complete. This government has already completed 2 years. It's only got 3 years. How can it allot for 5 years? Be that as it may. Be that as it may. 10,000 crore for 5,000 years. She's optimistic. I congratulate her and wish her well for her optimism. 10,000 crore. Allocation in 26-27, 500 crore.
Oh,
Indian Semiconductor Mission 2.0. What happened to ISM 1.0? There's no mention. On the revenue account, 1,000 crore. Electronics Component Manufacturing Scheme, 22,919 crore has been expanded to 40,000 crore. Good. But the allocation is 1,500 crore. 3 dedicated chemical parks. At page 20 of the expenditure budget, there is a note which refers to the 3 dedicated chemical parks. But the outlay is 0.
oh,
Scheme for container manufacturing, 10,000 crore in 5 years. At page 21, allocation is 0. National Fiber Scheme, Mega Textile Park Scheme, Mahatma Gandhi Swaraj Institute. I'm grateful that they remembered Mahatma Gandhi and they brought him back to a scheme. National Fiber Scheme, Mega Textile Park Scheme, Mahatma Gandhi Swaraj Institute. There are announcements, but where is the outlay? I couldn't find any outlay for any of these schemes. Champion small manufacturing enterprises, small and medium manufacturing enterprises. The allocation is 54 crore. How do you allocate 54 crore to champion SMEs? I'm afraid this budget is cautious, parsimonious, forgetful of the past year,
yes, dimension.
and this will vanish. It has already vanished from the newspapers. Another minister and another deal is occupying the front pages now. The finance minister and the finance minister's budget speech has vanished. This is a forgettable budget which has been prepared by a finance minister who forgot her promises made in this house last year.
Shriman Arun